one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
This story comes to us from Reuters.com, where Palm Springs, long known as a desert playground for the rich and famous of Los Angeles, has enacted a number of progressive measures to address homelessness. Now, in July, the all-Democratic City Council passed a ban on sleeping on public property that will expand police authority to arrest the unhoused, which underscores how even liberal cities have lost patience as the homeless crisis persists. Other cities have grown even more emboldened by a June 28 ruling from the conservative majority U.S. Supreme Court that camping bans are constitutional. Since then, 12 California cities or counties have passed camping bans, while another 9 are considering them or have already given initial approval, according to the National Homelessness Law Center. Many of those cities cited the Supreme Court decision as they passed new ordinances to evict unhoused people from public view, kind of hide them away. We don't want people looking at the homeless, my God. With soaring rents and an acute housing shortage, California has an estimated 180,000 homeless people, even though it has spent more than $20 billion. It opens new tab on housing and homelessness programs since the 2018-19 fiscal year. Margot Kushel, a professor of medicine at the University of California, San Francisco, and co-author of a 2023 report, opens a new tab on the state's homelessness and calls the police crackdowns counterproductive. Having a criminal record impedes a homeless person's chance at getting a job, and the distrust it generates reduces homeless cooperation with police, Kushel said. Scattering them strains their access to outreach workers. Quote, "We need housing. We need subsidies. We need not just affordable housing, but we need deeply affordable housing," Kushel said. Palm Springs, a city of 45,000, we know where it's at, it's about 100 miles east of Los Angeles, stopped just short of exercising all the authority granted to cities in the Grants Pass versus Johnson. The new ordinance instead complies with a previous federal court ruling and will prevent law enforcement from enforcing the ban when emergency shelter space is full. Its new law won't take effect until 85 temporary housing units are completed later this year. Now, with a homeless population that advocates estimate at 500 in Palm Springs previously enacted rental assistance for people in danger of losing their homes, set aside a quarter of tax revenue from vacation rentals for affordable housing, and opened a 50-bed shelter in March of this year. California jurisdictions received further guidance when Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, it's Newsom, but I say Newscum, on July 25th issued an executive order directing state agencies to urgently address homeless encampments and urged cities to adopt a similar posture. Meanwhile, 5 local entities, including the city and county of Los Angeles, have passed measures or issued statements resisting police crackdowns or have approved sanctioned camping spaces, according to the National Homelessness Law Center. Now, outside California, another 25 cities in 15 states have passed or are considering camping bans. Palm Springs Police Chief Andrew Mills shares the perspective that police cannot solve the problem and says he advocates for compassion. He says, we have to be able to say enough is enough as a community and as a country. Now, Mills says this from the streets when the high temperature reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit. He said, we needed some kind of leverage to say, you're not going to do this in our city. Mills said police will give homeless people 3 options: take help by entering a shelter, accept the city's offer of a free bus, train, or plane ticket home where family can take them in, or go to jail. At the United Methodist Church, where the social services group Well in the Desert serves 250 free meals a day, one homeless man said homeless people are routinely harassed, yes they are, and he has been arrested for pushing a shopping cart and loitering. He says they want us out of sight. That's the end point. His name is Travis Rogers. He said he became homeless after experiencing extreme grief at the death of his only son from brain cancer 5 years ago. He said, I just wish the city council or this new chief of police would actually talk to us instead of just passing all these ordinances. Now, Eve Garrow, a lawyer with the American Civil Liberties Union, says cities rushing to pass laws are in a race to the bottom. They are. Said they're not controlling the fact that wages have stagnated over the last 20 or 30 years and housing prices have skyrocketed. Tina Allgood, another person at the church, said she lives in fear of the police while continuing to look for a job and permanent housing. Allgood said, don't be so hard on us. You know, don't make us run from you, make us run to you. And that's the thing, is these homeless people, they're scared of the police. A lot of homeless people, because homeless people, when they see cops, they think, I'm going to jail or I'm going to get a citation. Watch this. You know? And people say, well, the homeless, they're drug addicts, they're alcoholics, they steal, they commit crimes. Not all of them. Some of them are just people that, like the one guy, he said, my only son got brain cancer and died. And I ended up homeless because he lost it. He has mental issues now. He's dealing with grief and he's dealing with things, and you know. So I don't know what the solution is, but I know that it's weird. You can't sleep on public property. Is this still America? I mean, I don't know. There's so many, you know, I'm opening a can of worms here. I get it, but this is public property, like America, like freedom, land of freedom, land of you're free, but you can't sleep in public property. I mean, and I've seen it where they're sleeping on, you know, I saw a homeless guy. He wasn't near a business. There was apartments and there was a sidewalk, and he was out of the way in a little alcove on the sidewalk. And the cop came and made him pack all his stuff and take off. Because it's ugly. That's an eyesore. That's an eyesore. You gotta go, man. People don't want to see you sleeping out here. Fourscore and 20 years ago. Yeah.